The courts should indeed be able to resolve almost all the grievances that workers have, the complaints that workers have. The court should be in position to resolve those complaints. But it is very clear now that the industrial court, in the way it functions, it cannot be able to resolve the grievances, the complaints that workers have. The percentage that they resolve is very minimal to be able to say that the courts have dispensed social and economic justice to the workers of Uganda. This being the case, there has got to be deliberate efforts to ensure that the courts are supported to be able to deliver justice to the workers, because their grievances that will never be resolved administratively. There are employers who do not want to entertain resolution of problems in workplaces. They just want to operate, in a dictatorial manner, thinking that when someone has got a complaint against that employer, then that worker is disrespectful. No! When a worker has got a complaint against you as an employer, it doesn't mean the worker is disrespectful. That worker is aggrieved, and it is only fair that you listen to them. In the civil society, like the way we are now, a worker who is aggrieved should be listened to. Do not make a worker who is having a grievance appear as if he has committed an offense. It is not an offense to be aggrieved. Actually, you who is creating the grievance, you are the one who is actually offending. And you should be apologetic, you should be reasonable. That when you realize you have acted in a manner that is really not right, that you act with civility to say you are sorry. But not again to pursue the one who is aggrieved, who is complaining against you, and make him feel like really he or she is the wrong one. This being the case, the industrial court, in the way it's constituted, cannot deliver social and economic justice to the workers. Yes, we know the industrial court has got good judges. They are very upright people there. But really, the capacity to deal with the magnitude of the problem, the capacity is so small that cannot be able to help the workers of Uganda. Remember, we are talking about systems through which justice is dispensed, justice delivered to the workers. These are things we'll be talking about over the past. We are saying that why is it that workers in Uganda do not have access to social and economic justice? And we are saying one of the reasons is because of the systems. Industrial court as a mechanism that has been put in place to deal with workers' problems really is operating below the minimum required level. And I would want to say that everything ought to be done by the social partners. This is a tripartite court, I think, more so, requiring that the employers, the trade unions, and the government must be able to agree that yes, let us at least be able to begin with appoint more judges. Government should appoint judges. Why would government really even be reluctant in appointing judges to industrial court? Really? Just with all the millions of people, we are talking about a minimum of 2 million cases in a year. And the government has appointed 2 judges. If that is not frustration, what is it here? What is it? Why would you not want to appoint an additional 3 judges? If you really mean well, you want workers to get justice, appoint additional 3 judges. And we know that even when you appoint the 3, they cannot be able to solve the problem. But at least demonstrate your commitment, demonstrate your concern by recognizing the fact that the workers are aggrieved. You need them to get justice. There is nothing else the workers need from you. They need justice. They need fairness. Appoint the judges to the industrial court. And maybe let these courts be able to function regionally. We say let us have a court in northern Uganda. Let us have a court in western Uganda. Let us have a court in eastern Uganda. Regionally. Yes, you argue, but let us have these courts function regionally. Then centrally here we have industrial court, maybe that can always be able to coordinate the rest of the other courts. So that workers in those areas areas are assisted to get justice. Workers in those areas should be assisted. How are you really intending to help workers in Koboko? How are you intending to help workers in Maracha? How are you intending to help workers in Arua? How do you intend to help workers in Zombo? How do you intend to help workers in Nebi? How are you intending to help those workers in Bakwach so that they are able to get justice? Why do we think that workers are just in Kampala here? Workers are scattered all over the whole country. You move to Madiokolo, workers are there. You go to Terego, workers are there. You go to Amuru, Noya, you will meet workers. Workers are there. They need to be assisted. When we talk about workers, workers are not just here in Kampala. Yes, we know the majority of them. Kampala hosts the biggest number of workers, but there are workers there in Agago, in Pade, in Kole. You will find workers there in Otuke. You will find workers there. Now, we are operating like as if workers are only here in Kampala. Everything should operate around Kampala. What happens to Karenga? What happens to Kabong? Nakapiripiriti Kotido? Those people, don't we think they are equally as important as we are, those of us who are here? Why then must we have industrial court just visiting Fort Portal for 2 days or 3, deal with about 4 or 5 cases and come back? Are those the only cases which are in Fort Portal? Why should we have an industrial court just go to Jinja for a period of just about 4 or 5 days, deal with about 10 cases and come back? Really, are those the only people in Busoga, the 10 people who are aggrieved? Why are you this is not right. Yes, it is fine. Industrial court is trying to solve the problem by at least taking services closer. But you look at the cases that are being handled every time they visit those areas. It's really so small. So it is good, it's better, at least to start with, to have courts existing in those areas. Let there be courts consistently dealing with workers' issues. By the way, even when we talk of the industrial court moving in the various regions to try and listen to the cases there, leave alone the fact that they are not able to handle, they are not able to handle many cases. Do the workers in those regions know what industrial court is? When you go to the village there in Ikole, and you tell a worker there in what is industrial court, are they able to tell you what industrial court is all about? Do they know its purpose? Do they even know that it exists? First of all, even before you go there, to present yourself that you are going to handle cases, industrial cases in those regions. Do the workers even understand what industrial court is, or they just think it is a new brand of soda? Don't the workers think that the industrial court maybe is another brand of soda? Industrial cola. For these days, you know, we have several colas. There is Ham cola, there is Coca-Cola, there is Pepsi cola. I think now workers might think this is another industrial cola. It could be another brand of soda. It is important that the workers themselves are really made to understand and appreciate that industrial court is there specifically to help resolve the problems that they have, and that if they are aggrieved and administrative structures have not been able to help them to resolve their grievances, they can go to industrial court. Awareness is required. The social partners should be able to agree to create awareness amongst the workers in the different districts, explaining to them the processes through which they can resolve their grievances. Let us not suppress grievances. Let us not suppress complaints. Let's help the people to resolve complaints, because we are talking about social and economic well-being. People cannot be socially happy. They cannot be comfortable when they are aggrieved. I would therefore want to also appeal to the social partners, the government, the workers, of course, represented by trade unions, and the Federation of Uganda Employers, to be able to agree that a certain level of awareness must be created, either through media or barazas, huge barazas, where we go there and address the workers, explain to them the processes through which they can be able to file complaints in industrial court, and specific offices established there for registering complaints, registering their complaints to the industrial court, so that the workers can be able to access social and economic justice. I'm going to continue pursuing this path so that the workers of Uganda are really made aware of what it is that they must be able. That's why you workers, wherever you are, you will do a great deal in passing this information to the different workers so that they can be assisted. Workers at the district level, workers at whichever level they are, let this information reach them to know that there is a court called industrial court. And let them ask questions, even through these social media platforms. I will be able to explain so that whoever is aggrieved can be able to seek justice in the court in the industrial court, for purposes of ensuring that you enjoy your rights as is required under the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you very much, and I wish you well.